Army ants do not build nests, they live a sort of nomadic lifestyle with groups of millions of individuals. On a hunt, some species form large columns up to 100 meters long, killing and immediately dismembering every insect or small visible they encounter. The biggest hunting parties can kill up to 500,000 animals per day. Some army ants specialize in hunting and consuming other social insects like termites, wasps, and especially other ants. Wasps are fierce and may seem invulnerable, but if a swarm makes its way to their colonies, they don't even stand a chance. The much bigger and stronger wasps might kill a few of them, but they are quickly overwhelmed. Even if their queen survives an attack, the army ants steal the colony's larvae and quickly devour them. There is no recovery from that. When army ants discover another ant colony, they immediately attack. Now you might think this would be a more even battle, but it's not. Because army ants act as a social unit, they are especially dangerous and effective. Most army ants are not particularly impressive individually, but they can overwhelm their victims with sheer numbers before the victim colony can mount an effective defense. And so invasions tend to be won by the attackers, and the prey colony is damaged significantly or is exterminated. Interestingly, army ants don't fight army ants. When two swarms encounter each other in the wild, they either pass through each other, ignoring the other swarm, or both colonies just move away. Which makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. Army ants that fought other army ants probably eradicated themselves millions of years ago. Indeed, they're so deadly that other ant species had to specialize to survive their presence. Many species just panic and evacuate their nest when they notice army ant scouts carrying as many larvae with them as they can in order to return and rebuild after the attack. Other species have invented living bunkers since fighting is so futile. They have work classes that have big square heads. When army ants show up, they use them to block the entrances to their nests, so the attackers have to give up after a while. But not everybody is afraid of army ants. Leafcutter ants form some of the largest and most complex societies of any animal other than humans. They live in extensive nests many meters deep and across. The diet of the army ant species Nomomyrmex esenbeckii consists mostly of the larvae of other ants. Compared to other army ants, they have a more robust soldier caste. So far, they are the only known species that can successfully attack a mature colony of leafcutters. When they find a leafcutter colony, hundreds of thousands attack in a long column. The moment the leafcutter ants notice the army ant attack, they go into crisis mode and immediately alert their soldiers, who very quickly swarm to the site of attack. A front line develops that can be a few meters wide and up to a meter deep. The leafcutter soldiers go head to head with the army ants, lock in on them and try to cut through their heads. Smaller leafcutter workers help by grabbing the enemies. Small teams carry out attacks behind the front line, where they dismember their enemies by ripping their legs from their bodies. The attackers, meanwhile, try to swarm their victim soldiers and sting them to death in a mob. Despite the powerful defense and the determined response, the army ants are still superior in numbers. So without knowing if the battle could be won, the leafcutters prepare for the worst. Workers rush to create barricades